Well, English 9, we are on Act 4 of Romeo and Juliet, and it's intense now. This stuff is intense. Ending Act 3, Juliet is expected to marry another man within a few days. Of course, it's dramatic irony because her parents have no idea she's already married to somebody, but we know it. So we're like, well, she can't do that. Can't be Catholic and marry another guy. But if she says I'm already married, what she kind of tried to say, she's not really sure what's going to happen there either. That might totally keep Romeo out of the picture. You know, they might execute him for sneaking a marriage with her. Who knows? So this hate that is the shadow over the Verona is really tainting what should be beautiful. It's crushing patience, meaning people are acting quickly because they're afraid if they go too slow, what they really want in their hearts won't get to come around. So hate is tainting patience, a virtue and an intelligence. And it is killing people literally. It's killing lives figuratively. They can't live by what they feel is going to nurture their happiness, what is a right in our life, what we sort of have when we're born with. As Jefferson pointed out, and he kind of learned this from philosophers before him, that as humans we are born with life that should not be destroyed by others. Liberty, a sense of freedom that we don't take away from others, and means to be happy but not stepping on anybody else to reach our happiness. And this hate, this, which is a theme growing in here, it's not about a feud really, and it's not about forbidden love really. It's about hate that has saturated what is good, and somebody's got to squeeze out that hate and then rinse off what has been saturated by it to get all the ink out. So that's kind of what's going on here. It's one of the ideas I believe Shakespeare's getting to, is hate doesn't help civilization. A civilization is not a civilization where hate presides, because to be civilized is to have a community of virtues that by which people agree to live by, and they are willing to make compromises. They're willing to stand up when a virtue does not seem right or it has outgrown its purpose. That's civility. You don't need a car, you don't need a phone, you don't need light bulbs to have a civilization. You need human dignity treated with respect to have civilization. You need to act in Christian ways, the way God wants us to be to one another, and that's being more civilized than thinking that, well, I'm in charge and I'm going to run things the way I want to run them, or this hate that's presiding over the city of Verona. So as I said, it taints, it mars, it makes things rotten. And so our little children, Romeo and Juliet, who have become young adults in love and now in marriage, are becoming tainted. We know that they already act on that youthful impulse. So Juliet gets this impulsive idea at the end of Act 3 to go to confession at Friar Lawrence's cell. At least she says she will do that. Say, nurse, go tell mom and dad that I gotta go to confession for being a disobedient wretch, according to my pops, and they'll be happy with me again. And the nurse is thinking, oh, good idea, because, you know, you're not going to be with Romeo anyway, so you might as well marry Paris. He's a gentleman, and he's actually, you know, better than Romeo, and so, yeah, good idea, Juliet. Ooh, she just flips on her. Total flip, nurse. What's on your mind? But what Juliet does, she doesn't go to the cell. She kind of tries to trace the path of Romeo. She goes to Mantua, where Romeo is exiled to, and talks to a few shady characters and finds out where Romeo is, and those two get together in this dark little hut kind of place, stone hut, and in creeps this dark figure while these two are trying to figure out, can we be here? Can we maybe change this, what looks like abandoned, into our little home? But it was actually the place of this rogue and a few of his buddies. And they are very upset somebody is invading in their boat to murder Romeo and Juliet. But money talks. So Romeo mentions, I can pay thee to hold back thy fierceness. And pay stops the guy. And Romeo says, in fact, I can pay thee to take thy fierceness to another household. And so Romeo has this instant plan to get these hit guys to wipe out all the Montagues, all the main Montagues, and all the main Capulets. But he says, not Benvolio. And, oh, no, wait, that's a whole different story. Something I read at a different time. Let's just read what finds out. Let's find out what reads. Let's start Act 4. Act 4, Scene 1. Friar Lawrence's cell. Enter Friar Lawrence and Paris. Okay, so Friar Lawrence and Paris are having a conversation. Friar Lawrence. On Thursday, sir. The time was very short. Paris. My father Capulet will have it so, and I am nothing slow to slack his haste. Friar Lawrence. You say you do not know the lady's mind. Uneven is the course, I like it not. Paris. Immoderately she weeps for Tybalt's death, and therefore have I had little time to talk of love. For Venus smiles not on a house of tears. Now, sir, her father counts it dangerous that she do give her sorrow so much sway, weeping and weeping and weeping over Tybalt's death. It doesn't look good. So in his wisdom he hastens our marriage, give her something happy in life, to stop the inundation of tears, which, too much minded by herself alone, may be put from her by society. It's not going to look good in the household, and people are going to talk about her, down gossip. Oh, that little girl, she's crying and crying. Oh, she'll never be happy. So now, do you understand the haste, the reason for haste of marriage? Friar Lawrence off to the side. I would I knew not why it should be slowed. Look, sir, here comes the lady to my cell. Enter Juliet. Paris immediately talks to her. Happily met, my lady, my wife. That may be, sir, when I may be a wife. Paris. That may be, must be, love, on Thursday next. Juliet. What must be, shall be. Friar. That's certain text. Paris. Come you take my confession to his father? Come you to make confession to this father? Juliet. To answer that, I should confess to you. Do not deny to him that you love me. I will confess to you that I love him. So will ye, I am sure, that you love me. So in confession you'll let the friar know that you love me, right? And she says, well, I will tell the friar I love him as a friar. And Paris insists, yeah, you'll say, friar, I love you, you're a good man, and then you're going to say that you love me, right? Juliet says, if I do so, it will be of more price being spoke behind your back than to your face. Paris. Poor soul, thy face is much abused with tears. Juliet. The tears have got small victory by that, for my face was bad enough before their spite. Paris. You wrong it more than tears with that report. Juliet. That is no slander, sir, which is the truth, and what I spake it to my face. Thy face is mine, and thou hast slandered it. It may be so, for it is not my own. Are you at leisure, Holy Father, now, or shall I come to you at evening mass? Friar Lawrence. My leisure serves me, pensive daughter. Now, my lord, we must entreat the time alone, for she's going to confession, and you can't be around when she's confessing. Paris. God shield I should disturb devotion. Juliet, on Thursday early will I rouse ye. Till then, adieu, and keep this holy kiss. And gives her a little kiss on the forehead, probably. Exit Paris. Juliet. Oh, shut the door, and when thou hast done so, come weep with me. Past hope, past care, past help. Friar Lawrence. Ah, Juliet, I already know thy grief. It strains me past the compass of my wits. I hear thou must, and nothing may prorogue it. On Thursday next be married to this county. Juliet. Tell me not, friar, that thou hearest of this, unless thou tell me how I may prevent it. If in thy wisdom thou canst give no help, do thou but call my resolution wise, and with this knife I'll help it presently. So she's ready to take a knife and kill herself too. Juliet continues, God joined my heart and Romeo's, thou our hands, and before this hand by thee to Romeo's sealed shall be the label to another deed, or my true heart with treacherous revolt turn to another. This dagger shall slay them both. Therefore, out of thy long experienced time, give me some present counsel, or behold, between my extremes and me in this bloody knife shall play the umpire, arbitrating that which commission of thy years art could to no issue of true humor bring. Be not so long to speak, and I long to die if what you speak is not of remedy. Friar Lawrence. Hold, daughter, I do spy a kind of hope, which craves as desperate an execution as this desperate which we would prevent. Wait, I do have an idea. It's a desperate one, like you wanting to kill yourself with a knife, but it's a better one, just the same. If, rather than to marry County Paris, thou hast the strength of will to slay yourself, then is it likely thou wilt undertake a thing like death, to chide away the shame that choppest with the death himself to escape from it? And if thou darest, I'll give thee remedy. So if you're willing to kill yourself, are you willing to do something that would make it seem like you're dead? It's risky, but if you're willing, I've got just what we can do. Juliet. Oh, bid me leap rather than marry Paris from off the battlements of any tower, or walk in thievish ways, or bid me lurk where serpents are, chain me with roaring bears, or hide me nightly in a charnel house, or recovered quite with dead men's rattling bones, with wrecky shanks and yellow chapless skulls, or bid me go into a new made grave, and hide me with dead men in his shroud, things that, to hear them told, have made me tremble, and I will do it without fear or doubt, to live an unstained wife to my sweet love Romeo. Friar Lawrence. Hold then, go home, be merry, give consent to marry Paris. Wednesday is tomorrow. Tomorrow night, look that you lie alone. Okay, so go home and pretend to be happy. Say you'll marry Paris. Tomorrow night, make sure there's no one in your room. Let not thy nurse lie with you in thy chamber. So everybody gone, even your trustful nurse. Take you this vial, being then in bed, and this distilling liquor drink you, when presently through all thy veins shall run a cold and drowsy humor, for no pulse shall keep his native progress, but surcease. No warmth, no breath shall testify you live. The roses in thy lips and cheeks shall fade to wanny ashes. Thy eyes' windows shall fall like death when he shuts up the day of life. each part of you deprived of supple government shall stiff and stark and cold appear like death, only appear like death. And in this borrowed likeness of shrunk death, you shall continue 42 hours, and then awake as from a pleasant sleep. Now, when the bridegroom in the morning comes to rouse thee from thy bed, there art thou dead. Then, as the manner of our country is, in thy best robes, uncovered on the bier, thou shalt be born to that same ancient vault where all the kindred of the Capulets lie. In the meantime, against thou shalt awake, shall Romeo by my letters know our drift, and hither shall he come, and he and I will watch thy waking. That very night shall Romeo bear thee hence to Mantua, and this shall free thee from the present shame, if no inconstant toy nor womanish fear abate thy valor in acting it out. Okay, so Juliet, go home and act happy. Wednesday night, your wedding night to Paris, supposedly. Say you need to be alone. Don't even let the nurse be around. Then, when you are under cover in bed, drink this vial of potion I have for you. It will go through your veins and make you seem like there's no life in you. There will be a tiny life pulsing, but nobody will be able to know. You will seem dead, and Paris will come the next day and think you're dead. And they'll probably think you died of grief over Tybalt. So they'll take you to the family tomb, probably lie next to the freshly dead Tybalt, and seal up the tomb. And you'll be free from marrying Paris. Now, can you handle that? Now, you got to be in a tomb with all these skulls of your ancestors and these freshly dead people. If you can't handle it, I don't have a plan. Juliet says, give me, oh, tell me not of fear. Friar Lawrence, hold, get you gone. Be strong and prosperous in this resolve. I'll send a friar with speed to Mantua, with my letters to thy lord. Juliet, love give me strength, and strength shall help afford. Farewell, dear father. And she exalts. So they have a plan, they have hope. Act 4, Scene 2. A hall in the Capulet house. Entered Lord Capulet, Lady Capulet, the nurse, and 2 or 3 serving men. Okay, so the house has got to get kind of changed up around from this funeral feeling to a wedding feeling. Okay, so Lord Capulet in charge of another get-together here. Lord Capulet, so many guests invite, here we writ. Exit serving man. Sirrah, go hire me 20 cunning cooks. The serving man, ye shall have none, sir, for I'll try if they can lick their fingers. Capulet, how canst thou try them so? Serving man, marry, sir, 'tis all cook that cannot lick. Marry, sir, it is an ill cook that cannot lick his own fingers, therefore he that cannot lick his fingers goes not with me. Meaning, if you're a good cook, you make good food, and you're going to want to even have your own food and lick your fingers. So if there's a cook who won't lick his own fingers after cooking his own food, he probably is not a good cook. So I'll find the right cook. It's me. So we have a little change in tone here. We have this totally desperate girl willing to get so close to death that it maybe even will be death, to get out of a marriage and then hopefully go to her actually true lord, her true marriage. And then all of a sudden we have this bustle in this house and this cook acting silly about, oh, I'm the best cook in town. So the tone goes from the dramatic dark tone of Juliet's decision to be brave and act as if dead, and to be willing to be put among dead people, the bones and newly decaying flesh. And then we have this silly little bustle going on. Classic situation of comic relief. This, get a little breath here from this deep, dark heaviness of Juliet's life into this still related to the play episode, because what's happening is a bustle. We still have this impulsiveness happening, so it's still connected to the larger part of the play. The bustle is about hastening this marriage, which is dangerous, so it's still connected to the play, but yet we have a little sense of relief, that's comic relief in the play. Lord Capulet says to the silliness of the serving man about licking your fingers, "Go, be gone." Exit serving man. "Ah, we shall be such unfurnished for this time. What, is my daughter gone to Friar Lawrence?" Nurse. "Aye, forsooth." "Well, he may chance to do her some good on her. A peevish, self-willed harlotry it is." The nurse. "See where she comes from shrift with merry look." Enter Juliet. "Huh, how now, my headstrong? Where have you been gladding?" And Juliet says, "Where I have lent me to repent the sin of disobedient opposition to you and your beasts, and I am enjoined by holy Lawrence to fall prostrate here, to beg your pardon. Pardon, I beseech you. Henceforward I am ever ruled by you." Lord Capulet. "Send for County Paris. Go tell him this. I'll have this knot knit up tomorrow morning." Whoa, that doesn't go with the plan. It's supposed to be a Thursday morning, not Wednesday morning. I met the youthful lord at Lawrence's cell, and gave him what become loved I might, not stepping over the boundary of modesty. Capulet. "Why, I'm glad on't. This is well. Stand up. This is as it should be. Let me see the county. Aye, marry, go, I say, and fetch him hither. Now, afore God, this reverend holy friar, all our whole city is much bound to him." Juliet. "Nurse, will you go with me into my closet to help me sort such needful ornaments as you think fit to furnish me tomorrow?" Lady Capulet. "No, not till Thursday. There is time enough." Lord Capulet. "Go, nurse, go with her. We'll to church tomorrow." So the wedding got moved up again, and Juliet's expected to marry Paris not on Thursday, but tomorrow. More pressure. Lady Capulet. "We shall be short our provisions. 'Tis now near night." Lord Capulet. "Tush! I will stir about. All things shall well be met. I warrant thee, wife. Go you, Juliet. Go to Juliet. Help her deck up. I'll not to bed tonight. Let me alone. I'll play the housewife for this once. Why, they are all forth. Well, I will walk myself to County Paris to prepare him against tomorrow. My heart is wondrous light, since the same wayward girl is so reclaimed." Oh, he's so happy now that he can get this figure into his home, Paris, who I think is also related to the prince, as was Mercutio. He's not going to have the prince looking down on him because Juliet's crying because there was a street fight between the Capulets and the Montagues. So he feels like, yeah, I'm free of all that pressure from the prince. So he's feeling good. And he thinks his daughter's an obedient daughter. And now we move. So that was a very quick scene because we're already into scene 3. And so just like the negative things that have been happening because of impulsive acting, we have an impulsive scene here. It goes very quick to go along with the impulsive ideas. So the size of the scene matches the size of how quick things are happening. Just like the wedding scene, it was short and quick because it was a quick idea to get married. Okay, so the structure of the play is also matching some of the motifs that feed the theme of the play. And that's part of the art of writing, the craft, author's craft. Okay, so we're already in Act 4, Scene 3. Juliet's room, Juliet's chamber. Enter Juliet and nurse. Juliet says, "Aye, those attire are best. But, gentle nurse, I pray thee, leave me to myself tonight, for I have need of many orisons, meaning prayers, to move the heavens to smile upon my state, which well you know is cross and full of sin, meaning you know I gotta ask forgiveness because I'm already married and I'm going to be married again tomorrow, so you of all people know that, so you'll understand why I need to be alone and pray. So she's using her little bit of craftiness to get the nurse out of her room. Enter Lady Capulet. What, are you busy? Do you need my help? And now you want to help, now that she's going to get married tomorrow, and otherwise, you know, if she's got a problem, you weren't there. Juliet. Oh, no, madame. We have called such necessities as are behooveful of our state tomorrow. So, please, let me now be left alone, and let nurse this night sit up with you, for I am sure you have your hands full all in this so sudden business. Boy, Juliet's good. Lady Capulet, that's not even arguing to be with her daughter on her wedding night. She simply says, good night, get thee to bed and rest, for thou hast need. That's it. It's like, you're not going to talk about stuff on her wedding night about, oh, don't you remember this and that, and you're going to be my little girl, you're going to be his wife. Nope. She says, oh, you don't need my help? Okay. I'm going then. So, exit Lady Capulet, exit nurse, exeunt, and Juliet is alone. Farewell. God knows when we shall meet again. I have a faint, cold fear thrills through my veins that almost freezes up the heat of life. I'll call them back again to comfort me. So Juliet's a little bit worried now about what she agreed to do with Friar Lawrence. Nurse, what should she do here? My dismal scene I needs act alone. So she decides not to call anybody back, but talks to the little vial of the potion. Come, vial. Oh, what if this mixture do not work at all? Shall I be married then tomorrow morning? No, this shall forbid it. I'll lie thou here. And she lays down a dagger beside her. So if the potion doesn't work, she's got plan B. She will stab herself to death. Wow. What if it be poison which friar subtly hath ministered to have me dead, lest in this marriage he should be dishonored, because he married me before to Romeo? Oh, I fear it is poison, and yet methinks it should not, for he hath still been tried a holy man. A holy man wouldn't kill anybody. Well, how if, when I am laid unto the tomb, I wake before the time that Romeo come to redeem me? There's a fearful point. Shall I not then be stifled in the vault, to whose foul mouth no heathsome air shall breathe in, and there die strangled before Romeo comes? Or if I live, is it not very like the horrible conceit of death and night, together with the terror of the place, as in a vault an ancient receptacle, where for these many 100 years the bones of all my buried ancestors are packed, where bloody to bolt, yet but green in earth, lies festering in his shroud, where they say at some hours in the night spirits resort? Alack, is it not like that? I so early waking, before I am supposed to wake, what with loathsome smells, and shrieks like mandrakes torn out of the earth, that living mortals hearing them shall run mad? Oh, if I wake, shall I not be distraught, environed with all these hideous fears? Will I go crazy, and madly play with all their forefathers' joints, and pluck the mangled bolt from his shroud, and in my madness, my rage, with some great kinsman's bones, as with a club, dash out my desperate brains? Oh, look, methinks I see my cousin's ghost, seeking out Romeo, that did spit his body upon the rapier's point. Stay, Tybalt, stay, Romeo, I come. This do I drink to thee. She drinks the potion and falls down